like that.
You know, yeah,
When you see yourself, that's it.
then you know you're live.
Here we go.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Paterson Board of Adjustment special meeting of September 13, 2021. Let's please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Law is satisfied with respect to this meeting, specifying its time, date, and location included in the annual notice adopted at the reorganization meeting of the board, filed with the clerk of the city of Paterson, posted in City Hall, and mailed to at least 2 newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the law. First application to be heard is Riverview Property Management and Realty LLC for the property located at 587-593 River Street. And this application, to my understanding, is for reconsideration based upon substantial modification of the application. Council?
Yes, good evening, council, and thank you. For the record, Alan Mariconda, 726 Market Street, Paterson, appearing on behalf of the applicant, Riverview Property Management and Realty, LLC. Council's description is correct. We're here only on a procedural application here tonight. It's on. It's on.
I apologize, I got ahead of myself. First, let's take attendance.
Okay.
To make sure everybody sees who's here. Commissioner, can everybody hear me now? Okay. Commissioner Arenas.
Here.
Present. Commissioner Baralt.
Present.
Present. Commissioner Dumas. Absent. Commissioner Furman. Absent. Commissioner Minoro.
Present.
Present. Commissioner Rohim.
Present.
Present. Commissioner Vega.
Present.
Commissioner Watkins.
Present.
And Chairman Thaxton. Okay. Okay, and now we can proceed with the one item on today's agenda, which was the Riverview Property Management and Realty LLC, located at 587-593 River Street.
Thank you. As I indicated, we appreciate you hearing us on a short notice special meeting basis for this reconsideration. As the commissioners will recall, this is an application that was heard before you a couple months ago, and there was a denial at that time, and the applicant had made modifications in accordance with your planner's review prior to that meeting. The only issue that remained and was the primary focus of the vote that evening was a parking variance. The applicant had provided 90 of the 121 parking spaces required on this project. You may recall this is a mixed-use project on River Street, and it involves professional/retail space on the ground level, along with 39 residential units above. There was very substantial parking provided. However, we were about 25% deficient at that time, the difference between 90 and 121. That was primarily the basis. So we're back here. The applicant has continued to work diligently to try to locate additional parking, and he has right nearby. I'm going to have Mr. Evans testify briefly about that parking site, and I'll distribute his site plan amendment, which locates that parking for you around the corner on 6th Avenue from the River Street location.
Does he have a lease?
We have a written agreement. It spells out the terms of the lease for 10 years, and we're hopeful to negotiate a more extended lease as well if the board gives us reconsideration to get back on the agenda. We do. I have it from the owner of the property's agreement to lease this property, these parking spaces, 20 spaces to be exact for 10 years, but hopefully we're working on more. And that's signed by the landlord. So I'll circulate that as an exhibit as well. And this is a large site, which you'll see on the agreement itself, on the site plan diagram of the parking lot. Should I proceed, Mr. Chairman? Proceed? Okay. Again, so we have that written document to provide you, as well as the site plan amendment, which covers the parking lot site as well. Just like to call Mr. Evans briefly to give us that quick overview of what we've done. Thank you.
I'm confused.
Yes, I do. Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Mr. Evans, just quickly refresh the board's recollection. You did a revised plan which was presented a couple months ago, is that correct?
Yes,
And at that time, we had reduced the number of units, so we did reduce our parking requirement at that time.
yes,
Nonetheless, the board did not approve this application, primarily indicating that there was a need for more parking in their opinion, is that right?
correct.
And so our applicant moved forward with some attempts to obtain more parking. Can you describe that parking? I know we submitted to the board this sketch, which I have enough copies of for everyone to see. Can you tell us what we've done?
Okay, well, first, the existing site, what we did, as you may remember, we have a two-level parking garage system. So that was to accommodate the parking for the building. Also, what we've added in addition to the two-level parking, we have obtained parking towards, I believe to the north of the property, and it's a 1 block away. We're on East 12th. It's on East 11th, and it's an existing parking area, and we would be leasing 20 parking spaces of that existing parking area for this, to accommodate the parking for our
We submitted
development.
this sketch to staff as well as council, is that right?
Yes,
And that sketch is on your presentation, your letterhead,
yes,
and it depicts more than 20 spaces, but at this time, we've already obtained an agreement for 20. We're hopeful for more.
right. We've designated the maximum amount of parking that could be accommodated in that area, the leased area, but we would be limited to 20 spaces at this time, and that would be, I believe, a 10-year lease.
And that parking, as you indicated, is on 11th and 6th.
Yeah, it's on 6th and 11th.
We're on
and-
River, and we run around the back to 12th Street.
Yeah, we're on 6th and 12th, so we're about 200 feet away.
Okay. This time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have that exhibit marked, and I have multiple copies to distribute to the commissioners as well.
We can mark it as Exhibit A.
Yes, thank you. We'd like to distribute that if we could this time, yes, thank you. Everybody's got to fill in. There should be enough for everyone. I know, I just realized I got the lease. Yeah, I didn't detail it yet, but. No problem. Yeah. So as I indicated, that diagram and amendment to our site plan for Mr. Evans is very straightforward. It shows exactly where that parking will be. I'm going to have the board stenographer also mark the agreement to lease, which is again, subject to this board's reconsideration, but it's detailed in terms of the number of years, the rental amounts, escalation clauses. So this is, again, very detailed. This is the attorney for the property owner. He actually is one of the partners on the property, too. So he and I have dealt directly on this agreement ourselves, and we feel very confident. It's also contingent, of course, on this project being approved. So I have that exhibit that can be distributed when the board is ready.
We'll mark it as Exhibit B.
Thank you. All right, Joe?
Don't answer them.
Counsel, I have some additional copies of this, too. I don't have 10 like I did on the agreement, on the site plan. At least some additional copies.
How many feet are we talking about here? This is the property,
I know.
and this is the parking. No. No. Okay, so Mr. Chairman, I can proceed then? Okay, thank you. Again, so that summarizes what we're doing in terms of our substantial modification. We feel very strongly that this additional parking at a very convenient, very close proximity site will enable the site to function even more smoothly. We were very strong about our original application, as you know, but we think that this additional parking, again, shows the applicant's commitment to become really a primary developer in the River Street area, which is in great need of development. This site and that section of River Street has been in a state of disrepair for some period of time, and we're hoping to bring in 2 small professional businesses, quality housing on an area which greatly needs it, and we feel very strongly that this presentation this evening, essentially provides the board with basis from the applicant's perspective to ask the matter to be placed on the returned to the regularly scheduled calendar, I should say, and get past the hurdle of just getting the reconsideration motion for approval tonight, which we ask the board's consideration for. We're open to any questions, if you have any, of course.
Okay, any commissioners have questions?
Just going back here a little bit, Commissioner Vega here. How far is this parking property?
Matt, can you give that again, that exact description?
It's 1 block over. It's, our property ends at East 12th. It's East 11th Street. So it's at the intersection of 6th and East 11th. We're at the intersection of 6th and River, which intersects the East 12th. So we're about 200 feet away.
200 feet away, thank you.
We are also, of course, not asking you to make a final decision on the merits tonight. We're just respectfully asking you to give us the opportunity to come back before the board for a full hearing on the merits based upon, under the Municipal Land Use Act, this application for reconsideration should be granted if the applicant proves that there's modification to the original site plan presentation. And I do believe that on its face, this application warrants reconsideration. Thank you.
Yeah, no, do it. No other questions from any commissioner? Okay, can I have a motion to accept the reconsideration or not to?
Make a motion to accept the, I guess, to come back to read the report again, or the plan.
I second that.
I second that motion also.
Okay, motion's been made. You want to call up the roll, please?
All right, at this time, I'm just going to ask of each commissioner whether you vote yes or no on the application based upon the motion for reconsideration and based on the applicant's showing of substantial modification to the application. Commissioner Arenas,
Yes.
Commissioner Baralt,
Yes.
Commissioner Dumas, absent, right? Commissioner Furman, absent. Commissioner Minora,
Yes.
Commissioner Rohim,
Yes.
Commissioner Vega,
Yes.
Commissioner Watkins,
Yes.
Chairman Thaxton. The yeas have it, the motion has been granted.
We thank you very much. I assume, Mr. Chairman, we will not set a date tonight. This will be a matter of new notice at a date to be set.
Yes.
We thank you for your consideration. Thank you for coming out on a Monday night. We think this project will be back before you very shortly. Thank you.
Chairman, I just want to discuss something, if I can have the floor for a minute. It could be on the record. So after what happened last week, as all of us know, that we didn't hear any application that was scheduled for last week. The applicant attorney showed up and they asked for a new date. So I wanted to put a motion on the floor that going forward, if any applicant comes to the meeting unprepared and asks for a new date, we shouldn't give them a new date right away. We should have them wait at least 3 months to get a new date, and then they should go back behind the list again, because we have a lot of projects that needs to be heard, as we got the email from the office last week. We have project from 2020 that's still pending to be heard. And also after 3 days, I think that application should become inactive and they should apply again.
Commissioner, we did discuss this at the last meeting. At this time, I'm going to put your request on hold and have it at the next regular meeting.
Okay.
To discuss at the next
Okay,
regular
thank you.
meeting. Any other business in front of the board?
Do you have anything?
Since we're having discussions, is
This
it
whole-
possible? Excuse me? Commissioner
On
Watkins.
the board, I mean, on the record, or,
It could be off the record,
okay,
and we can close the meeting.
well, yeah, okay, meeting's adjourned.
Yes, ma'am. You're done? You're done? Yes. Okay.